That Orgeron, who's the LSU football coach, riding on that heater we talked about in recruiting, joining us now here on Off the Bench. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Great to be on the show as always.
Yes, sir. Saw you last week at your new boss's, Scott Woodward's introductory press conference. Tell me about some of the conversations you had with Scott and now your vision of the football program with him leading the department.
Yeah, everything's been excellent from day one. He and I have had some great conversations. He's been very supportive of what we're doing here. Obviously, a Louisiana man loves LSU just like we all do. I think he's going to do fantastic.
Coach, recruiting right now. I mean, y'all are cleaning up, man. Every time I go to Twitter, I see a hold that tiger. I know we can't speak specifically, but just give me an idea of the messages, how it's been received. I mean, it seems like everybody around the country is paying attention to what's going on in Baton Rouge.
Yes, we have a national brand, obviously. LSU has always had a national brand. We've reached out. We've done a great job of reaching out and, getting certain commits early. Those guys have been doing a great job recruiting for us. They're recruiting their class. We told them, hey, let's recruit the best class in the country. I think all those guys are getting together and wanting to come to LSU.
I know that you've had a very big, successful run here on skill players. You pick up a linebacker, but I know that your attention is going to start focusing on the trenches at some point in 2020. At what point do you recruit two positions, or do you just go after the top guys that you see there?
No, we haven't started. We're not just now starting recruiting the trenches. We've been recruiting the trenches for 2 years now, but those guys. We feel like we have a very good defensive line recruiting class coming in. A lot of those guys are not committed to us. We feel like we're very close to some of them. Some of them is going to be a battle to the very end. But obviously, the offensive line and defensive line is a priority for us. And we feel that we're going to have a very good recruiting class on both sides of the football in the trenches.
Yeah, and Coach, maybe one of the craziest part about this current class is LSU traditionally not known as the best passing team, and yet y'all have the most incredible wide receiver class that I have ever seen. How are you selling some of these guys on the outside that Baton Rouge is where they need to spend their college?
Yeah, they see Odell Beckham, they see Jarvis Landry, the success those guys have had, obviously. They come in and they look at our new offense, which is mainly 3 wides, 4 wides, and 5 wides. They see that the quarterbacks that we have committed, the quarterbacks that we have on our football team. And then when they talk to Steve Ensming and Joe Brady, they see the commitment that we have to the passing game.
Everybody's talking about the new look on offense coming out of the spring drills, and Joe Brady obviously had a lot of influence on that change. Now your coaching staff, all of them, are out of the office recruiting. I'm sure you're going crazy in there by yourself.
Yeah.
What's the impact that he's having on the trail?
Outstanding job. He's doing an outstanding job. He brings immediate respect and attention. He's young. He's energetic. He at the end of each day, he texts me a daily report on the guys that he's seen. And
wow.
He's an outstanding evaluator, he's an outstanding recruiter. He's going out mainly to see wide receivers and tight ends for us. Some quarterbacks, and he's doing an outstanding job for us.
Yeah, also doing an outstanding job right now. Dennis Johnson and Bill Bush, according to 247, ranked 5th and 6th in the country for assistant coach recruiting rankings. How nice it, especially with a guy like Meatball Coach, where you've kind of brought him up right under your wing, and now to see him have that kind of success on the trail.
I'm happy for Dennis. He's a hard worker. He paid his dues here. Outstanding young coach. And like I said before, Bill Bush is a game changer. Think about this. He brought us Joe Burrow, Apuaika. He's doing a tremendous job. He ended up with Marcel Brooks and doing a tremendous job on the road recruiting for us right now. He's a great coach.
And one thing that I also know helps out in recruiting, but I want to get your perspective on it. College football is an arms race. And y'all have been like blue collar for this last year, walking back and forth from building to building, back in Tiger Stadium. But you got some incredible facilities coming up. How important is it to kind of take advantage of it when you're the school that has the latest and greatest facilities?
It is. The more you can get them to see the facility, the better you're going to be. And obviously, when they go to other schools, they see the new shiny stuff. They like it, obviously, but I think that they're going to love our facility. We're going to have definitely one of the best facilities in the country. The best thing I like about the whole facility is the nutrition center. Our players will bet to eat there 3 times a day. Great food, all they want. I think that's where we're going to catch up.
All right, if you want to let me and Jordy in there as well, I'm always looking for somewhere to eat. Talking to Coach Ed Orgeron here on Off the Bench, 94.7, 100.3, 104.5 ESPN. Coach, you're someone who you're like a lot of your career, you've been known as an elite recruiter. How does the feeling of getting one of those big time commitments? Because there's the Rakeem Jarrett story on Instagram where you had the pictures of it. It was incredible, really great moment. But how does the feeling of getting a big time commitment compare to something like winning a game or something along those lines?
It's close to it. I'll tell you that. It's elation. It's a lot of hard work. It's a relief, especially when you get a player that you know that's a difference maker, a player that can come in and help you win a championship. Great character people that we're getting. You see the parents happy. You see the relief on them. It's a process. We've been recruiting a lot of these guys for 2 years. A lot of hard work is going into it.
Coach Dave Aranda takes a running back commit to LSU 3 years ago and turns him into the Butkus Award winner and the 5th overall selection in the NFL draft. I'd imagine that's playing pretty well to recruits right now as well. Talk about the success that you guys had in the draft last weekend.
Yeah, well, obviously the character and the integrity of Devin White and the way that he played. David did a tremendous job with Devin. And, a lot of linebackers are wanting to come here because of the work that Dave Aranda's doing. I think that we have like 10 linebackers in the league right now, and our guys are doing well in the league. So we're fired up about Coach Aranda and his work, obviously. We're fired up about our graduation rate at 89%.
Wow.
We want to have the best defense in the country, and we're on our way to do it.
As a coach, there's, it's one thing to get guys to commit, but it feels like the process never really ends. Right, exactly right. Early signing day now. I guess, how do you finish this class strong, right? Like, you have the commitments. How do you then keep them together through the stretch, through signing day?
Yeah, well, it's constant communication. You can't let off. Obviously, when you get someone committed to you, the other team's just going to come harder. We know that. And then the fight just begins. So we have to continue to fight. These official visits that we've had in the spring have been fantastic. We got a small group come in, 2 or 3 or maybe 4. They get to know who we are. We spend 48 hours with them. So we're having a lot of success on these small recruiting weekends. Now going into the summer, you got to hang on to them. You got to keep them coming to camp. And then it's constant communication and getting them back to a game. And then closing time is going to be when we go in the home visit. So the process has just begun. But we feel like we have a great start.
Ed Orgeron joining us here, LSU football coach, head football coach, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. You showed the reach of the brand by going out and reaching out across the country and bringing players in to Baton Rouge. But on Monday, you start the annual Tiger Tour presented by the Tiger Athletic Foundation, where it gives you a chance to go speak to boosters, fans, supporters around the state. How cool is that, and how much does that help your program?
I love it. Be able to reach out throughout the state. The state is always going to be our priority, as we all know. And we're going to get the best players in the state of Louisiana to play for LSU, and it's going to happen again this year. I'm excited to go out and reach. I enjoy the caravan. I enjoy going to different parts of the state, starting off in North Louisiana, which has been very good for us. Our last 2 draft choices are from North Louisiana, then Monroe, then we're going to Houma, then I'm going to Houston. So it's going to be a great time.
Last one, Coach, we'll get you out of here. How's the schedule working right now? All the coaches out of the building, on the trail recruiting, but I know that Coach Moffitt's got them across the street getting them prepared.
Yeah, it's a grind. Our analysts are coming in at 6 o'clock in the morning. We're in at 6. We're working on junior recruiting right now. We're working on the next class. We're working on upcoming opponents. All our analysts are breaking down film right now. The coaches are going to be coming off the road in a couple of weeks. We're going to be getting ready for the season. This is a busy time for us.
That was a nice addition with Kenichi Aduze, right? One of your former players?
Yes. Kenichi's going to work closely with me. He's going to work on pass rush. Obviously, he can't coach the players, but he's going to be working closely with me on pass rush sets, pass rush moves, so I can teach our guys. He's someone that was an excellent football player for us, an excellent young man, and he's an excellent recruiter. He brings a lot to our staff.
Coach, continued success on the trail. Thanks for the time this morning.
Go Tigers.
You got him. There he is. Coach Ed Orgeron joining us there for a couple of minutes on Off the Bench. That reference there in the last question, Kenichi Aduze is a former defensive lineman at USC that was recruited and played for Orgeron from 01 to 03. He was the position coach at USC after he played in the NFL from 04 to 07. He was let go this offseason by Clay Helton and that staff, and now on staff as a defensive analyst for LSU.
Bring him on.
And the Tigers. You heard Orgeron talking about him there. We'll close that hour one next.